Well, welcome everyone. I'm Lauren Zerilli. I am with Vistaprint's marketing group. I focus on retention of our existing small business customers. I hope we have a number of customers in the room tonight. This is our marketing essentials track. So we will be talking about kind of giving you an overview of marketing principles, the sort of questions you should be asking before you launch into doing any one of the specific marketing initiatives such as direct mail, social media, email marketing. I'm going to give you the general overview, and then our other presenters will get into more of the detailed topics. So I call this smart marketing for small businesses, and I do that because marketing can be a bit of a black hole if you don't know what you're doing. You can spend a lot of money on it and not necessarily get the return on investment that you're looking for. So I'm hopefully going to get you to start thinking and asking the right questions that will lead you to marketing that really does deliver results. So raise your hand if you know the difference between acquisition and retention marketing. You know who your ideal customer is, the ones that are most profitable for you. So a little bit less of that. Know what channel marketing is. Derek, you can't answer. He works here. You've created one marketing piece with different messages targeted to different populations. So, for example, one postcard pretty much looks the same, but you have two different messages on it, and you target different groups. So, I've got one or two. You know what integrated marketing is. Okay, I think this is the last one. And you know how to calculate return on investment for your marketing campaigns. No one. Okay, so good news is you're all in the right place, because this is what we're going to cover. So the key to getting started is really about asking the right questions. I think anyone who wants to be successful at marketing has to have a lot of curiosity, because it really is about understanding what your goals are, what your vision for your company is, where you see it in 1 year, 3 year, 5 years, and then you can start thinking about developing a plan, a roadmap to get you there. In my travels, I've done work with a lot of small businesses, and I see that a lot of small business owners tend to be very reactionary. They market when business is slow. They try things out because they hear, oh, I saw something about putting an ad in a local newspaper, or maybe I'll try some direct mail, but there's not a whole lot of planning that goes into it. Really, you should develop a plan that sort of focuses on three main topics, and that's acquisition, acquiring new customers, retention, keeping customers, and winning those customers back that may have, for one reason or another, sort of fallen off your radar. So let's talk about the key questions. First question is, what is my primary marketing goal? And again, that's really, are you trying to generate awareness for a new business? Are you looking to grow your business and grow your customer base? Are you trying to retain customers and develop more loyalty? Are you looking for referrals from those customers that are very engaged with your business and happy and willing to bring in their friends, their peers, family? The next question is really, who is my ideal customer? And that is, who's the most profitable for you? It's not necessarily the customer that does business with you once a year, or constantly shops the competition, is only buying from you when you have a sale or you offer something free. These are people who are loyal to you, profitable, and we'll talk sort of about how to find out who those customers are. Next thing is understanding why they buy from you. There are a number of different reasons and a lot of things that play into the consumer decision process, and we need to sort of dive in to understand what it is that you offer and why people are buying from you, and then you want to sort of speak up to those points, but also understand why some customers aren't buying from you and start to figure out, like, how do you bridge those gaps? How do I find them? We're going to spend some time on that. There are so many, things out there today. Social media, all the digital, online, websites, the traditional print. There's so much, it's almost mind-boggling. How do you choose? And then, so you know who they are, you know how to find them. What are you going to say to them? What do you say that's going to, change their behavior to come and do business with you and to do it on a repeated basis? And then, how do I know if it's working? And as I said, we're going to end tonight looking at two different marketing companies who, one had an email campaign, one did a direct mail campaign, and we're going to look at how to calculate what we call ROI, which is return on investment. So actually know if the marketing project that you launched was successful, if you should do it again, or what you need to tweak along the way. So, what is my specific goal? Increased profitability is what you see in the center here. That's really what marketing's all about. It's not just about driving sales or attracting any customer. It's increasing the profitability of your customer. And then there are a number of things that play into this, but as I already mentioned, acquisition is all about acquiring new customers, growing your customer base. Repeat or retention marketing is keeping the customers you have, selling them what you sell now, but also upselling them additional products, services. And then there is the win back, and we talked about that a little bit. Those are customers who made one or several purchases from you, and for whatever reason they decided to go to one of your competitors. You really need to understand, why that is. So let's talk about who is my ideal customer and why. You really want to identify who your customers are in terms of the total value they represent, in terms of both revenue and loyalty, because there are some customers who don't necessarily spend that much with you, but they're very loyal and they will refer you to other people, and those are just as valuable as the ones that are spending a lot with you all the time. So how do you determine that? There are a number of sort of common characteristics that we look at when we talk about customers. One is demographic information. So you can consider the age of your customer base, their income level, where they live. Are they, local? Is your business online and then it doesn't matter? Or are you a neighborhood business and these are people who, live in your local area? Then there's behavioral. So that is more transaction-based. You look at what they're buying from you, how often they're buying. Are they only buying at discount or are they buying full price? These kind of components will help you target your marketing to the people that we identify are the most profitable. And then there's this whole psychographic component, which is really more about their attitude, their value, is it a hobby? Are they green conscious? Like understanding some of those other drivers that may create sort of a target audience for you. And that's, again, once we determine this, we come up with what we call your target market. These are the people that you should be focused on. You can't be everything to all people. You really have to pick the people that you're going to be most successful with. So don't try to just, if you're in the automotive repair industry, not every customer who owns a car is necessarily your best customer. New people who just bought a car probably go to the dealer and their car is under warranty, so they may not be your best customer. So you really have to dig into that. So I have a couple of examples of how you find this information out, and in the back of this I have some resources that they're sort of free resources. So there are a lot of free online surveys right now. So if you have an email list, you can develop a survey, send it out, possibly offer some sort of an incentive for people to complete the survey. And you basically, you're just asking your customers. It's okay to ask what they like, what they don't like, why they're doing business with you, what else they'd like to see you offer. I think a lot of people don't feel comfortable doing that, but whether it's, as I said, an online survey, a comment card that you have at your point of sale, or even in person, just sort of getting ad hoc feedback. I mean, your small business owners, chances are you know your customers personally, and it's okay to engage in conversation about these kind of things. So here's an example of that I found about some consumer research. It was Mike's Express Car Wash. And you can see in the image they launched a free web-based survey with an offer. It was a free car wash for participation. They had 53% of the respondents, now this is what surprised me, said that they would like to receive future communication from the car wash. Pretty surprising, right? You would think, what kind of information could a car wash offer me that I would find interesting? But it resulted in this completely new channel for them. They launched a monthly newsletter where they offered, information about car maintenance and monthly coupons and things like that. And it was very successful. They probably would not have thought of launching a newsletter had they not asked their customers. So, smart marketing tip number 2 is you are not selling a product feature, but rather a product benefit. When Volvo, for example, does their marketing and they sell a car, they don't really sell 4 tires, a metal frame. They sell safety. If I were to, talk about selling you this pen, for example, I'm really not going to talk about the ink and the plastic casing. It's more, what does this pen do for you? So if I were trying to create sort of an emotional connection, I would talk about, the next sale you're going to ink with this pen, or that note you're going to write to your sweetie on Valentine's Day. I mean, so you're really selling a solution. You're not selling a product. Why do your customers buy from me? This is what we call the consumer decision process. And as you see, people, pretty much in any sales process, people move through the process in the same way. So the first component is awareness. This is where people are sort of out there and they're bombarded with, messages, and they're just kind of cataloging them all. Like, when I need help, you want your customers to know that you're out there, right? So it's generating awareness. Then they move into the consideration phase. It's, what can you do for me? From there, it's they're in consideration. Maybe they've walked in your door, okay? They're like starting to browse. What's different about you is the next piece. It's the interest piece. And this is where you want to start, maybe they've called you or they've asked for information. That's where you have to start differentiating yourself from the competition. And then they move into the preference phase. Are you the best choice for me? So you need to sort of be at each point in this process. Finally, when they go into purchase, they want to know, how much does it cost? What are you selling me? How long is it going to take? When? Again, you've got to make sure that you have a message at each point in that process, because everybody follows the same process. So what is sort of the 5 key components that you need to consider in this process? The first one is product. What are the customers really buying from you? Are you selling a quality product? How does it compare with your competition? Which products are your most profitable products to promote? Some products are just products that get people in the door, but they're not necessarily the ones that make you the most money. how are they packaged and delivered? Are you delivering quality at every point in the process? Not just the product, but the packaging. The second piece is price. So does the price that you're offering make sense to your target? Do they understand the value of what you're offering? And everybody sort of has a different equation of value. It's a combination of quality and price equals value, and everybody sort of has a different opinion of what that is. But what you need to do is to be sure that whatever you're saying your value is actually matches your target audience. Do you simply slash prices when business lags? Are there unique ways you can approach pricing? You really need to make sure that your pricing makes sense for your business. The third is people. So, how do customers react to your product, your price, your quality? We've talked about this. Who are your most profitable customers? And what are the attributes that define them as a group? And again, that's your target, your targeting. And do you deliver on customer satisfaction and guarantee, which is a very important component of retention and win back. Making sure that even in the cases that you're not fulfilling their expectations, that you're willing to, make it right. Promotion is really what we're talking about here tonight, and that's, are you creating a consistent perception across all the different channels that you may be marketing in, whether it be direct mail, email, your website, social media, on your Facebook page. You really should be projecting a very consistent message across all of those so that your company doesn't look like different companies in different places. It should always look the same. And then finally, the place, and this is where we talked about the consumer decision process. Are you top of mind when your target customer is in the market for your product? Can you target these customers and easily find them? And is it convenient for your customers to do business with you? So are you open in the right hours that people want to be conducting business with you? Those are the sort of things that you need to consider. So how do I find them? I know this slide looks very busy, and that's kind of purposely, because there are so many options out there. How do you decide where to put your marketing dollars? And that's where we come into channel marketing. So the way I like to think of channel marketing, a lot of people don't know that term, but I think of it almost like TV stations. You change the channel, you have a different program targeted to a different audience. So there's a lot on here, but I think I want to run through quickly the different channels. Word of mouth, obviously, is free. It's very effective because people trust friends, family, peers, but it's somewhat hard to control. You don't have a whole lot of control about who's talking about you and what they're saying. When you look at direct mail, that's a bit more expensive a channel because there is a printing cost and there is a postage cost, but there's a higher likelihood that it actually is going to be viewed. It's easy to personalize, and you can use it for both existing customers and to attract new customers. Email is relatively inexpensive. It's something that everyone should be doing. You should make it a point as you transact with customers to start building, if you don't already have it, your email list, because it's a very effective channel. It's low cost. It's easy to personalize. It helps drive customers to other channels like your website, your social media pages. And then there's, obviously your website. Again, fairly low cost. There are a number of free or monthly paid subscription, low cost options out there for small businesses. And, a lot of people who are not conducting business online ask, well, why do I really need a website? And the answer to that is that you may not be online, but your customers are online searching for businesses to transact with. And if you're not there, they're going to find one of your competitors to do business with. So everyone should have a website. It doesn't have to be an e-commerce site. It can be almost more of a online brochure if you don't transact business online, but it's definitely a very valuable tool in the marketing sort of toolkit. And then there's search. So search can be free because that's kind of direct type-in search, or they call it organic, or it can be paid. Like when you buy Google AdWords, I don't know if people are familiar with that, and you're actually bidding on words based on how often they're searched, and the higher you show up in those search rankings, the easier it is to find you. Social media is another channel that gets a lot of attention now. It's free. It's very easy to post relevant content to your customer base. It can be very effective in reaching large numbers. The one caveat to that, it is pretty time consuming, because if you want to post even once a day, you have to sort of take the time to do that, and you have to be develop relevant posts to keep your customers engaged. And we're going to have a presentation on how to do that. And then finally, there's the whole print, TV, radio ad channel, more of the advertising, which tends to be very expensive and probably not the best channel for very small businesses. It's not very targeted, and again, it's pretty expensive, and it often requires you to hire a third-party agency to develop your advertising materials. So it's something that I would tread cautiously on. This is a chart. I don't know if you can see it. I just included this because I wanted to share a couple of these statistics just to show from 2010 to 2011, small businesses, their adoption rate, let's say on websites, has jumped from 51 to 85%. That's a pretty significant jump in 1 year. Search marketing from 38% to 74%. So you'll see that these are actual channels that can work for small businesses. You just have to be smart about it. So once you understand the channels, you need to make them work in support of each other. I've included just a couple of examples here. The first kind of screenshot is the Vistaprint, our email template, and you'll see that we're marketing something, some sale here, but at the top we have all the links to our social media templates, and that goes out in every single email that we send. So if you're not transacting with the email and you don't go to the site, there's kind of another way for us to engage you, and that's on our Facebook page, where you can join other small businesses and sort of see what they're doing. And then the second example, this feather hair extension, this was one of our customers who uses our email product. And I just wanted to show that this was an email they sent out to promote hair extensions, but they have this huge call to friend them on Facebook. So this is how the channel, this is email and social media working together. The more relevant your message is to the recipient, the stronger your response rate is going to be. So I have an example of a targeted marketing campaign here that I got in the mail. And I included it because I think it's a really good example. So this is from my health club that I'm a member of. They sent this email at the beginning of the year, and it was to introduce the club and offer this exclusive free membership deal. They did a really nice job of including, inspirational images and copy that would create sort of an emotional connection. On the back, they showed some sort of like buff people that look like they're definitely benefiting from the workouts. They have images of the club to pique interest, introducing all the club features down here, and then they had a very strong trial offer. It was a really nice piece. I actually have an example of this piece. It was custom. It probably cost them quite a bit of money. But there was one problem with this, and somebody may have picked it up along the way. Yes, 5 minutes? Okay, we'll try to hurry up. The problem with this is they sent it to their existing customers. So, this was wasted on me, and they sent it twice. So this may have been successful for them, but we know they wasted money on it because they sent it to an existing customer. They would have been better to send me something that says, you know, we know they know I'm an engaged member because I swipe my cards. They know I go to the gym all the time. They should have sent me a refer a friend, you get a discount, your friend gets a discount. So the targeting was off on this. So I only have 5 minutes, and I have a lot more to cover, but real quickly, this was an example of a Vistaprint holiday postcard. This is just a standard postcard that we sent out. It looks exactly the same, but if you dig in a little deeper and you read the headlines, you'll see the first one, 3 great reasons to try holiday cards from Vistaprint. Obviously to people who have never bought holiday cards from us. The other one, come back and get in on this great holiday card offer. So these are people who bought cards from us last year. So there was kind of little effort here. We created really one piece, but we targeted it with a headline and, you know, just made sure that we sent it to the right list. So this is really the last part that I want to talk about. Marketing is about increasing profitability, not only driving sales. And the key really is to know if that is working for you or not. So I have 2 examples here. We'll probably only have time for the first one. But this was a massage therapist postcard direct mail campaign. And what I'm sort of laying out here is what the offer was, how many pieces they mailed, what the response rate is, and then how to calculate the return on investment. So I'll just kind of walk you through it. They offered, it was $80 when you buy a package of 10 by January 31st. Regularly, each massage costs $100, so they're knocking $20 off when you buy the package. So the total cost of the package is $800. They mailed 1,000 pieces. They already had the mailing list, so there was no cost associated with that, but there was a cost associated with printing the direct mail piece, and that was $150 to print 1,000 pieces. The cost of the postage was, 34 cents, bulk postage, so that cost them $340. And so the total cost of the mailer was $490. It cost them $200 for every sale they made because for 10 massages, $20 off, that's $200. So there was a total cost of $2,000 and $2,490. They sent the postcards out and they got a 2% response rate, which, by the way, surprisingly, is actually pretty good. You can expect anywhere from like 1 to 3% on your direct mail. A lot of people don't realize that, and they send out direct mail and they think that they're not seeing the response they should, but that's actually pretty standard. Ultimately, they sold 10 they made 10 new sales, and the revenue that they brought in was $8,000. So it was $800 per package, and they sold 10. So the way to calculate, and again, this will all be sent out to you because I don't expect you to remember, is to look at the total revenue that you brought in, less your expenses, divided by your expenses. And then when you times that by 100, because ROI is usually calculated as a percentage, you'll see that they had a ROI of 221%, which is pretty good. So they would decide to move forward with this again, or something similar. And that's pretty much it. Think about your vision, what your goals are, short-term and long-term, and then how to conduct a needs assessment on your business so that you can really determine what your main goal is. Thank you. Sorry I had to rush to the end. But we don't have time for questions, but I will be outside if anyone has any.